Greetings and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about railroad hotels and motels, a wedding band, and pubic hairs. Now, first a little background. Before the railroad chose a hotel for the workers, management would inspect the place along with representatives of the unions, and they would decide whether the place was habitable. On the CNJ, I stayed in hotels in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and Allentown, Pennsylvania. And each one of them was an older hotel with spacious rooms with high ceilings, solidly constructed, nice and quiet, and each one was located in the center of their cities, so you had a lot of restaurant options. On Norfolk Southern, I never stayed in a hotel because I never worked road jobs, just yard jobs and a local. But on Conrail, I stayed in hotels quite a bit. And the first one I stayed in was located just outside the city itself, and it was a dive. I won't even get into it because the next hotel that they moved to was similar. And I'll describe that hotel. That hotel was close to the Susquehanna River, and I referred to it as the spider capital of America because there were spiders and spider webs all over the facility. Even the sign outside the front of the hotel was covered in spiders and spider webs. I don't know why. I don't know why nothing was ever done about that. And the rooms were dingy, and it was old, and the rooms, the rugs weren't. They were stained, and the door had a gap underneath it where you could see light, and in the winter when snow was blowing, it would actually blow underneath the door into the room. The heater air conditioning combination was a big box underneath the window with a blower that sounded like a locomotive, and the bathroom had a shower, and the shower head was mounted about level with my upper chest here, and I'm 6'2", or used to be, and when I took a shower I had to scrunch down underneath it to be able to get water on my head, and the water smelled. It stunk, and when you finished with your shower you never really felt clean. One day I pulled the bed cover back and got ready to get in bed, and I noticed pubic hairs on the sheet. The sheets had never been changed, so I called down and had a maid come up and change the sheets. Now, the restaurant, if that's what you want to call it, had a chef who, when he came out of the kitchen, you would see him wearing a dark blue navy watch cap and dirty clothes. And whenever I ate there, it was like a cure for constipation. If you had a hamburger, you would be picking little pieces of bone out of your mouth because they used the worst cut of meat. it was a real disappointment, to say the least. Now, I complained a lot about this place to my general chairman, who was the one that inspected it. And I especially complained about the railroad trestle that was a stone's throw from the hotel, and there was a live railroad track on it, and there would be a train sitting on it with the engines idling. All the time there was a train sitting there, and once in a while it would blow the horn or ring the bell before it moved. And we had an agreement. Part of our contract with the railroad was that the hotel was not supposed to be close to any railroad track. So I kept complaining to the general chairman about these things. And one time when the contract was about to be renewed between Conrail and the motel, I really hammered the general chairman with complaints, hoping that the contract would not be renewed. But it was renewed, and the general chairman told me that when he took the inspection trip at the hotel, he found nothing wrong, and he even inspected the kitchen at my urging, and he found nothing wrong. The kitchen was nice and clean, and everything was great. And the owner of the motel said that in appreciation, he would set out a nice spread for the holidays for any crew members who were unfortunate enough to be working on the holidays. Well, I was one of the unfortunates to be working on the holiday, Christmas, and the spread that he put out was a platter of cold cuts. One trip I worked with, my conductor was a UTU, that's United Transportation Union, local chairman. And he told me that he was in the bar area while we were during our stay, and he saw a waiter. He saw the bartender made a martini or a Manhattan, and it was filled up right to the brim, almost practically overflowing, and it was on a tray that the waiter had to carry into the dining room for some unsuspecting patron. And when the waiter picked the tray up, the drink started to spill. The waiter bent down and sipped the drink to get the level down to where it wouldn't spill. He couldn't believe it, and I couldn't believe it. And again, this I passed on to the general chairman. Finally, one time I had a engineer trainee one trip, and we got called to work, and we met down in the lobby of the motel, and the trainee told me that while he was getting ready for work, he dropped his wedding ring, and the ring rolled under the bed. And luckily, the trainee got a flashlight to look under the bed, and when he did, he found used sanitary napkins and used hypodermic needles. It's a good thing he had the flashlight, because had he reached under there, he could have jabbed himself with the needle. This was at the height of the AIDS epidemic, and that's what got us out of there. I told the general chairman about that, and we finally got out of there and moved to Howard Johnson's, which was a great improvement. So, before getting into a motel bed, check the sheets. And don't forget to put some sand down.